Every candle tells a story, but most traders only read the ending. They enter after the move, when the smart money has already left the scene. Top traders, they don't chase price. They read the behavior before it moves. The secret isn't magic, it's observation. They watch how the market behaves when everyone else is waiting for confirmation. Because the market doesn't whisper, it leaks emotion. Every spike, every hesitation, every fake breakout is a reaction to fear and greed. If you can read those emotions on the chart, you can read the future in real time. Most traders wait for the breakout. The professionals wait for the reaction before the breakout. They know when volume expands without progress, someone big is loading positions. They don't ask, where is the price going? They ask, who's trapped here and why? Because market behavior is never random. It's a reflection of trader behavior. Mark Douglas once said, "The market is never wrong. Only your understanding of it is." That's why pros study patterns of emotion, not just patterns of price. They read how traders behave in uncertainty, not how indicators blink afterward. Every hesitation candle, every fake surge is human psychology printed in numbers. When you start to recognize those emotional fingerprints, you stop reacting. You start anticipating. Ask yourself, do I see the market, or do I only see my fear of missing out? Because the next level of trading isn't prediction, it's perception. You don't need to guess direction. You need to understand behavior. Top traders don't follow signals. They follow sentiment in motion. And that's how they act before the market moves, while everyone else is still waiting for proof. If this opened your eyes, don't stop here. Sharpen them. The market rewards the few who see beyond price and into behavior. Subscribe to the Trader's Mindset and join those who don't just trade charts, they trade human psychology. Hit the bell because in the next, you'll see how top traders decode the psychology behind every candle and act before anyone else even understands what's happening. Every move on the chart is a reflection of emotion, but every emotion follows a pattern. The market doesn't move because of lines or indicators. It moves because humans make decisions, and humans are beautifully predictable. When fear hits, candles shrink. When greed takes over, candles stretch. And in between, when confusion rules, that's where the professionals quietly position themselves. Most traders think they're reading data. Top traders know they're reading behavior. Because price action isn't about numbers, it's about psychology printed in motion. Every fake breakout is a story of desperation. Every sharp reversal is a flash of regret. The market doesn't hide these emotions. It broadcasts them for those who can see. Dr. Brett Steenbarger once said, "Markets are the sum total of traders' emotions. Your job is to stay aware, not absorbed." That awareness is what makes price action meaningful. When the chart breaks structure, it's not random. It's human emotion breaking discipline. Top traders observe this with calm detachment. They don't chase the move. They study who created it. A sudden volume spike with no progress, that's fear, trapped liquidity. A clean candle breakout with steady volume, that's conviction, professional behavior. Ask yourself, am I trading the setup or reacting to someone else's emotion? Because the market is like a mirror. If you stare long enough, you start seeing yourself in it. The professional's edge comes from recognizing that reflection and staying objective. Understanding the psychology of price action turns confusion into context. It tells you not just where price is going, but why it's going there. And once you know why, you can see the move before it begins. That's not prediction. That's perception. And it's the most valuable skill a trader can own. Now that you understand how every candle carries a human story, let's uncover those recurring emotional patterns, the footprints left by fear, greed, and opportunity. Every chart you see, every spike, every pullback, every sideways crawl isn't random. It's emotion. The market is not moved by numbers. It's moved by people, and people repeat emotions far more than they repeat logic. That's why top traders don't just read price. They read the emotional patterns behind it. They know fear has a shape. They know greed has a rhythm. And they know manipulation always hides behind confusion. Fear shows up in sharp pullbacks, panic volume, and rushed exits. When you see candles with long wicks but no direction, that's fear screaming silently across the screen. Greed appears when the market rallies too fast, when everyone suddenly becomes an expert. When buyers pile in, not because of opportunity, but because of emotion. And then comes manipulation, the invisible hand of the smart money. It thrives on both fear and greed, feeding off emotional mistakes. It creates the fake breakout, the false sense of momentum, and the brutal reversals that wipe out retail confidence. Top traders don't fight these emotions. They identify them, track them, and act when they see the crowd losing control. Paul Tudor Jones once said, "At the end of the day, the most important rule of trading is to play great defense. That's what emotional awareness gives you. Defense against deception. When fear dominates, professionals wait. When greed explodes, they exit. When manipulation spikes, they quietly position themselves on the other side, because they know that every extreme emotion creates opportunity. The same candle that destroys one trader's confidence creates another trader's entry point. Ask yourself, am I trading emotion or reading it? Because if you're reacting, you're part of the pattern. But if you're observing, you're outside it. And that's where power lives. Trading isn't about controlling the market. It's about understanding the people who move it. Once you learn to recognize emotion, you stop fearing volatility and start using it. That's when you become the calm in chaos. And chaos becomes your signal. Now that you can see emotion on the chart, let's go deeper. How do top traders anticipate the move before emotion explodes? Timing is the invisible edge we'll uncover next. Every trader sees the same chart, but only a few see it before it happens. That's the difference between watching and anticipating. Top traders don't just react to price. They sense the behavior building underneath it. Timing isn't about luck. It's about rhythm. Every market has a heartbeat. When you listen carefully, you can feel the pulse before the move. The amateurs act after emotion explodes. The professionals act when tension builds. They see the shift in energy long before it shows up in price. A candle with no direction? That's hesitation. The crowd unsure. Volume increasing with no breakout? That's accumulation. The big players quietly positioning. A sudden silence after volatility? That's exhaustion. Emotion taking a breath before the next move. Mark Douglas once said, "The market gives you signals long before it moves, if you can see without needing to predict." That's what anticipation truly is, not guessing, but recognizing preparation. Top traders wait for pressure zones, those silent areas where liquidity builds, where uncertainty thickens, where the chart feels ready to breathe. When the crowd sees nothing, the pro sees potential. When the crowd panics, the pro prepares. When the market hesitates, the pro listens. Because timing isn't about jumping first. It's about entering when the crowd's emotion is at its loudest and your mind is at its calmest. Ask yourself, do I react to the market or wait for the market to reveal itself? Anticipation requires silence. It requires patience that borders on discipline. It's the art of waiting so well that when opportunity appears, your execution feels automatic. That's how professionals act before the move, not because they predict the future, but because they understand the present better than anyone else. In trading, the best timing isn't about speed. It's about synchronization, aligning your calm with the market's chaos. Now that you know how to anticipate the move, let's learn how top traders confirm it, turning patience into precision and timing into confidence. Anticipation is power, but precision, that's profit. Every trader wants to act early, but the professionals know acting early is useless if you act without confirmation. The market rewards patience dressed as precision. When your timing aligns with structure and psychology, you no longer chase, you capture. Precision doesn't mean perfection. It means entering at the moment when probability and emotion align. When your analysis, observation, and instinct all point in one direction, that's your edge. Most traders jump on every breakout. Professionals wait for the retest. They confirm intention before committing capital, because every candle is a question, and confirmation is the answer. Dr. Brett Steenbarger once said, "Confidence comes from evidence, not hope." That's the foundation of precision. You're not guessing what the market might do. You're reacting to what it has already revealed. When price moves with volume, when emotion cools but momentum builds, that's when professionals strike. Not fast, but firm. Precision requires emotional neutrality. If you're excited, you're early. If you're fearful, you're late. When you feel nothing but focus, you're ready. Ask yourself, am I reacting to movement or responding to confirmation? Top traders act only when multiple signals align, structure, behavior, and psychology all saying the same thing. They don't need to be right every time. They just need to be accurate enough when it matters. Because precision isn't about quantity, it's about quality. One well-timed trade executed with confirmation can do more for your account and your mindset than 10 impulsive guesses. In trading, confidence without confirmation is arrogance. But confirmation with control, that's mastery. And once you taste that calm certainty, you'll never chase another setup again. Now that you know when to act with precision, let's face the final test, executing under pressure while staying completely in control. The moment you click buy or sell, you enter the battlefield. The chart doesn't care about your plan anymore. It tests your composure. Every tick against you whispers, "Are you sure?" Every spike in your favor tempts you to close early. This is where most traders fall apart. Not because their strategy failed, but because their state of mind did. Top traders know volatility isn't chaos, it's communication. It's the market speaking in a language only calm minds can understand. When the candles explode in both directions, the professional doesn't panic. He listens. He knows that emotion is information, and pressure is proof of participation. The moment you feel uncomfortable, you're exactly where growth begins. Mark Douglas said it best. If you can learn to remain calm under pressure, you will discover opportunities others can't even see. That's the real skill. Not predicting moves, but maintaining clarity while they happen. The best traders breathe through the noise. They don't react to every tick. They read the rhythm. Because when your pulse matches the market's pace, you move with it, not against it. Ask yourself, when pressure builds, do I focus or do I freeze? Every great execution happens in discomfort. Every legendary trade was born in uncertainty. But professionals don't avoid that pressure. They prepare for it. Their stop loss isn't fear. It's structure. Their risk management isn't defense. It's discipline. When others are emotional, the pro is mechanical. When others are impulsive, the pro is intentional. Because true composure doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you control everything you feel. In volatility, confidence isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the silence before precision, the calm before profit. That's how top traders execute under pressure, not by fighting the storm, but by learning to breathe inside it. Now that you've learned how to stay calm in chaos, let's talk about what happens after the trade. How professionals review, reflect, and refine for the next opportunity. The trade is over. The candles have moved. Your P&L is written. But the real work, it just began. Top traders don't close a trade and walk away. They reflect. Because every trade is a teacher, a mirror that shows your habits, emotions, and discipline. Most traders chase new setups after a win or revenge after a loss. Professionals, they pause. They observe their own reactions before they plan another entry. Winning teaches nothing without reflection. Losing becomes valuable only when it's reviewed with honesty. The post-trade moment is where psychology meets process. It's where emotional intelligence becomes your edge. Dr. Brett Steenbarger said it best. The best traders are not those who never make mistakes, but those who learn the fastest from the mistakes they make. That's the art of reflection, turning every result into revelation. After every session, professionals ask, did I follow my plan or my emotions? Was my exit logical or emotional? What pattern did I miss or misread? They treat every answer like data, not judgment, because reviewing a trade isn't about guilt, it's about growth. When you journal your emotions, you start to recognize your triggers. When you track your decisions, you start to recognize your tendencies, and that awareness is what shapes discipline. The chart may show your profit, but your process reveals your potential. Top traders use post-trade reflection to build consistency. They learn what worked, refine what failed, and protect their mental capital before their financial one. Ask yourself, do I chase the next setup or understand the last one? Because until you study your own behavior, you're trading blind, even with perfect analysis. Post-trade discipline is the difference between repeating errors and repeating success. Every review builds self-awareness. Every journal entry builds strength, and every reflection builds resilience. That's how professionals grow. One trade, one lesson, one honest review at a time. Once you start learning from every trade, you stop being a participant and start becoming a professional. Let's explore what that mindset truly means in our final phase. The difference between a trader and a professional isn't skill, it's state of mind. The amateur trades to win. The professional trades to grow. Mastery begins when profit stops being your motivation and process becomes your obsession. Top traders don't measure success by how much they make, but by how well they follow their plan, how calm they stay under pressure, and how quickly they recover after mistakes. Because the goal isn't to win every trade. It's to never lose your discipline. Every candle, every session, every journal note, it's all training. The market isn't your opponent. It's your teacher. Professionals know this truth. You can't control the market, but you can master the person trading it, yourself. That's why mastery isn't loud. It's silent. It's the stillness between fear and greed. It's the patience to wait, the confidence to execute, and the discipline to review, again and again. Paul Tudor Jones once said, "Don't focus on making money. Focus on protecting what you have and mastering how you think." That's the mantra of every great trader. They know that mindset compounds faster than capital. A professional doesn't react to loss. He learns from it. He doesn't celebrate profit. He refines the process that produced it. He doesn't chase opportunity. He attracts it through consistency. Ask yourself, am I trading for excitement or for excellence? Because one fades, the other builds legacy. Mastery isn't a finish line, it's a rhythm. It's showing up every day with the same calm, the same focus, and the same hunger to improve. When you trade from that space, you stop needing to prove anything. You simply perform. That's when trading stops being about charts and becomes about character, and that's when you truly become what most only dream of being, a professional. If this journey opened your eyes, now it's time to build your edge. Subscribe to the Trader's Mindset and join the movement of traders who don't just follow charts, they follow mastery. Because you're not here to predict the market, you're here to master yourself.